Oh, and welcome to the Writer's Life, place we get the sights, sounds, smells, taste in my particular writer's life. Get the mic in front of me, where you get the truth. Look for my ruler. Everything's all out of place. Maybe some are here. Who took my ruler? I don't know. I'll have to use a drumstick. It's very dark out. This is the kind of weather I had in Italy. Kind of rainy-ish, cold, windy kind of thing. But actually, some of the days were really nice too. I actually can't complain about Florence in terms of the weather. It was warm and sunny for most of the time, but towards the end, it started getting like this. Is what I'm trying to say. But for certain, the downtown of Florence was so mobbed all the time. I stayed on the other side where it's mostly like kind of artists, writers, cafes, stuff like that. And it's very different from the city, which is just mobbed with tourists. The over tourism is real. So I think my little love affair with Florence is over for a while anyway, until that changes. So I got to figure out somewhere else to go for my writing retreats. I'm thinking going east, like Romania, something like that. I mean, I've been saying that for a while, or maybe even Istanbul. I've been to Istanbul a few times and I like it a lot. Very cool place. And it still has that, that foreign, exotic mystique to it. I like that stuff. And the price is right. Much less expensive than Florence, Italy. Italy's just outrageous now. And I blame the influencers. I really do. I blame the influencers. But whatever, it is what it is. People go on social media and, especially the boomers who have retired, and they're like, Howard, this place looks nice. Let's go there. And and their Bermuda shorts and their knee-high socks and loafers and baseball hats, they just stand out like sore thumbs. Anyway, that's not what I came on board to talk about. I haven't done one of these solo ones like 2 weeks since I came to you from my apartment in Florence, but now I'm back in my studio, as you can see. So it wasn't like, it's so hard when you come home, especially when you're gone almost 2 months. So there's like stack of mail like this. And I found out I hadn't set up my health insurance for 2026. I forgot. So I had to panic and do that. A whole bunch of other shit, I had to do. And like, I've been home 2 full days, and sometimes you get the feeling like people just can't function at 100%, at 100% if you're not around. And like, I don't get that at all. Here's my ruler. It was right in front of me the whole time. Or I think we switch in and out from parallel universes. And like in the universe I was just in, didn't exist because it was right here. And then I look and there it is. So like I've somehow been moving in and out of a universe, parallel universe. I think that stuff is real, by the way. Anyway, that's for another show. First off, did everybody see the video for Alibi Syndicate Press? That's open now. And as the editor at large, really acquisitions editor at large, but that's like too long a title, I have been contacting certain authors to see if they'd be interested in maybe submitting a book. We're looking for big books, like 50,000 words minimum. Crime, hard-boiled noir, nothing woke, I mean, everything's going to be considered, but like, we would prefer, you know, like the real thing, nothing watered down. Nothing's going to be censored. Um, in fact, I prefer, that 1940s, 50s, 60s Mickey Spillane type stuff. So everybody knows what I like, and Troy is a little bit different, and Stacy's a little bit different. Those are the owners. So we'll see what happens, but I think we're just taking a few authors for the first year. All the true anthologies will be under the Alibi Press Syndicate label. So it should be pretty cool. The Book Blast will be under that. I'm doing a book. Troy's doing a book, and Stacy has to write one. So Stacy, if you're watching this, get going. So it's going to be a busy year between that and Bear Media and all these rights I have back. I have I don't have to write another word for like 2 years, and I could still put out a book a month. I mean, it's crazy, but I'm working on a new Steve Jobs novel now called The Garbage Man. And I still have a standalone novel with my agent, Jessica Berg. So, and she's working on that. And she's working on subsidiary rights and stuff like that. So I think 26 is going to be a good year. Here's another reason why it's going to be a good year. I wasn't home like 5 minutes, so I'm checking, the emails. They like, and I see a name I haven't seen in a long time. And in fact, I was going to delete it because I thought it would spam or whatever. But anyway, it was a friend of mine I haven't talked to in ages, and she's been off, and she's a really good writer. She's been off social media for a long time. But she's like, Vince, have you heard about this Anthropic? I need a haircut. Have you heard about this Anthropic AI lawsuit? She's like, you're named in it. They stole 11 of your books. So I'm like, really? And at first I was just like, yeah, like it'd probably be like one of those, you get like 30 cents in the end after everybody takes their cut. But no, actually, I'm going to get like mid 5 figures, I think, optimistically. Might be a little bit lower than that. It depends in the end, the final tally. I think right now it's $1.5 billion that they've won. And I think Anthropic has an opportunity to appeal the finding in April. If they decide not to, my guess is they won't, because I think $1.5 billion to them is like, so what? Let's just pay him, or whatever. But we'll see. So like, I'm either going to get a check in like April, or I'm going to get a check like in September. I really don't care, one or the other. And again, it's one of those things though, like I'll believe it when I see it. When I have the check in hand, then I'll do another video and I'll report on it. But so thus far, it's, I've consulted with some lawyers and some financial professionals down in New York, good friends of mine. And they're like, yeah, dude, this is like legit. This is a legit thing. So there you go. One thing. Oh, and by the way, if you're involved, you don't have to like search for being involved. They will contact you. They will send you a piece of mail. Where's mine? Did I already file it? I don't have it right here. I put it in the file already. But they will send you a piece of mail that's thick because it contains all this information and explaining things. And then what you have to do is you have to go online, and it's weird. They tell you what titles, and they give you the ISBNs and the Library of Congress numbers. You have to redo it all just to, and they want to know who owns the rights now. Does the publisher own the rights? Or do you own the rights now? And it just so happens that like just before I left, I got like the rights to like a few books that were included. Most of the books that were pilfered um, were, I think, almost all 11. 9 of those 11 were books that I published with Thomas and Mercer, which is Amazon Publishing, which was interesting. And a couple others, a couple other publishers were involved, but I've since gotten the rights back. So, how many? I did 9 books, I think, with Thomas and Mercer. Plus, I did that X Files thing for another Amazon Publishing offshoot that went belly up. So, anyway, very interesting that it was that it came from Amazon, but whatever. Like I said, other publishers were involved too. So that's kind of interesting and cool. So I'll get the money and I'll spend it. I'll travel, whatever. And, anyway, we'll see. One note, like I wasn't on 5 minutes as again, I'm talking about because like I'm like today is like my hit the wall day in terms of jet lag. But of course, I got home at like, I don't know, 7 o'clock on Tuesday evening, and I wanted to go get some food, right? And like it just dawned on me as I'm like driving, watching like trying to avoid the potholes with my Jeep and stuff like that. I'm like, God, the infrastructure in this town is terrible. And it's Albany, it's the state capital, right? It should be like a jewel. But it's not. Like, and the taxes are brutal here. And, they're not putting that tax money into infrastructure, roads, bridges, the airports, trains. That's one thing about Europe. Like the trains are high speed and they're on time and it's so civilized. You get a compartment, you get your assigned seat. The roads are terrific. The quality construction is just, unbelievable. I mean, they tax you a lot, but they put a lot into the infrastructure. Not so much here, and it just, and there's so much fraud, right? A lot of politicians lining their pockets, especially in Albany. But anyway, but it really is a stark contrast when you come back from a country like Italy and after being there for so long. And, I go down to like the local convenience store. Just the year before COVID, you could go there anytime at night and it'd be safe as milk. Now, there's shit all over the place, trash, whatever, people outside doing drugs. And it's not so safe anymore, so there's only so many cops. And this is like the village of Menands in North Albany. It used to be like like a safe little enclave of its own, enclave, I should say, of its own. Not anymore, though. I swear to God, if I were going to stick around these parts, I would run for mayor. I would. And I'd clean this town up. Yes, I would. Be a new sheriff in town. Who knows? Maybe I will run for mayor. I'm seriously thinking about it. Imagine Vince in politics. Boy, oh boy. I think I could win, too. I do. Let's see. Who out there wants to donate to my campaign? All right. That's all I got before I fall asleep. Troy and Stacy are on vacation. One's in California, one's in Florida at Disney World or Disneyland, whatever the hell they call it. And they'll be back next week, and we'll be doing another video, all three of us. And we'll be talking more about Alibi Syndicate Press. And if you're a writer, I encourage you to submit to Alibi Syndicate Press according to the rules and directions on the website. Just Google Alibi Syndicate Press. It'll be the first thing that comes up. But open submissions don't start until April 1st April Fool's Day, right? Perfect. But for now, I'll just do my job and contact certain authors I'd like to see become a part of it. All right, that's all I got. I will talk to you guys very, very soon. This video will be on my latest will be available on my latest Substack post, by the way, called Crash Landing in New York.